어지럽게 흐트러진 시야 속에 선명하게 스며드는 잔상 난 왜 아파하면서 너를 사랑하는지 떠나지 못하고 널 맴돌아 돌이킬 수 없단 걸 알면서도 미어지도록 널 사랑하는 걸 그만할래 너를 멈추면 내 세상 속에서 후회 없이 난 기억 속 널 삼킨다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 너를 잊는다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 보내줄게 이제 안녕 너로 가득해진 넌 영원히 널 모두 잊는다 Don't tell me down down stop it down down stop it down down stop it all day long Let me down down stop it down down stop it 영원히 널 모두 잊는다 기억이 가시처럼 돋던 너 스스로 난 둘러싸여 질려가 모든 걸 놓지 못하고 계속 끌어안는 나 더 깊어지지 않게 구해줘 계속 헤쳐가는 걸 잘 알면서도 저려오도록 널 사랑하는 걸 그만할래 후회 없이 난 기억 속 널 삼킨다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 너를 지운다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 끊어낼게 이제 안녕 너로 채웠던지 넌 영원히 널 모두 잊는다 Don't take me down down stop it down down stop it down down stop it all day long Let me down down stop it down down stop it 영원히 널 모두 잊는다 내 맘속 가득 비웠던 꽃잎들이 모두 사라져 눈을 감고 기억 속 너를 날려 후회 없어 난 내 맘속에 너를 기억 속에 삼킨다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 너를 잊는다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 보내줄게 이제 안녕 너로 슬펐던 지난 날 영원히 널 모두 삼킨다 Oh 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 baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 너를 잊는다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 너를 지운다 Baby it's it, oh oh baby it's it 영원히 널 모두 잊는다
Welcome to the Jamaica Bus Depot review by TransitSylveonHitomi and AtlanticMoyNiHan. Let's look at the fleet and the routes of this depot.
The Q3, Q4, Q5, Q17, Q30, Q42, Q77, Q84, and Q85. The following buses they have, the fleet of course. They have 42 2011 Nova Bus LFSs, 86 LFSs from 2015, and 74 2017 through 2018 XD40 models. This depot is actually scheduled to receive Arctics, but we're not too sure when they will receive Arctics. The Arctics are scheduled to run on the Q17, but we're not too sure about that. Anyways, we are going to start the review. So, here is the history of this depot. The Jamaica Depot is located on the west side of Merrick Boulevard, just south of Liberty Avenue in Jamaica, Queens. The depot lies between Merrick Boulevard to the east and 165th Street to the west, and spans about 3 blocks north to south between South Road and 107th Avenue, located across the campus of York College. The depot was opened by the North Shore Bus Company in August 1940 and inherited by the Board of Transportation in 1947. An additional structure was constructed in 1950, adding additional storage and a bus washing area. The depot was expanded again in 1968 and from 1993 to 94. The 58,000 square foot depot is the oldest existing New York City transit depot. It holds 150 buses at capacity, but is assigned 208 buses, many of which are parked on the surrounding streets. Due to its age and capacity issues, and to accommodate articulated buses, the MTA plans to demolish the existing structure and build a new and expanded depot on the same site, as well as on 50,000 square foot of adjacent property purchased in April 2014. Construction was anticipated to begin in 2018 and be complete by 2022, with all of its buses and local routes temporarily sent to other depots. So, we're gonna talk about Jamaica Depot. Jamaica Depot doesn't have the best dispatching. They do bus gapping and bus bunching a lot. If you don't know what bus bunching is, it basically means a bus that's behind the same route of that bus multiple times. Basically, that's what bus bunching is. They do it a lot on the Q17 and Q30, and they kind of do it on the Q4 and 5 as well. And it kind of fucks up other routes like the Q42, the Q77, and some other major important routes. It kind of fucks up Jamaica because you get way too many of those motherfuckers in that area, and that just pisses people off. So, because of that reason, and also the drivers are sometimes assholes, this depot will get a 7 out of 10. It's not the best depot. It has good maintenance, not gonna lie, but the employees there can get a little crazy, and it can make it a really bad experience for you. Now, Jamaica does do loans for Stengel. Sometimes, not always, but they have done it in the past. If you've seen my past videos, I did catch XD40s from 2019 on the Q48, the Q12, and the Q20A and the Q28. I have caught those. If you look back in my older videos, people have caught them on the Q13 as well. So yeah, it's not the best depot, but it's So my final reasoning is bad employees and stuff. So this is a very good depot, and yeah. Thanks for watching. This is TransitSylveonHitomi signing off. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this depot used to have the X63 and the X64 routes. I'm not too sure about the X68, but from what I understand, this depot did have the X63 and X64 until 2002 or 2003, where they were transferred to Queens Village. Currently, Queens Village still has those routes, and yeah, this depot did have express buses back in the day, but now, Queens Village handles all that.
Now, as a person who actually has ridden a couple of Jamaica routes myself, the Q3 is pretty much one of the fastest routes of Jamaica, I would say, and yeah, but most of their routes are pretty shit. The only good routes, in my opinion, would be the Q3 and Q17, but that's pretty much it. The Q4 is just a shithole. The Q84, well, that's also a shithole. The 85 and the 5 are basically the same route, but then different patterns, and so on and so forth. I could keep on, saying shit about the routes, but, not trying to make this review long. Oh wait, it is already long, but whatever. Anyway, here is Justin, aka AtlanticMoyNiHan, to pretty much tell you about his fucking experience with the depot, because he literally lived by both Jamaica and Queens Village. So I pretty much have no say, technically, since I live by Casey Stengel routes and College Point routes, but yeah, I technically don't have a say. So anyway, here he is, and enjoy.
Jamaica Depot Review. It's been my home depot since the beginning of time. I've known it ever since I started riding the Q17 back in late 2013, and I'm so glad to be able to review it today. For those who don't know, Jamaica Depot is part of MTA Regional Bus Operations. It's the oldest NYCT-based depot to date, built back in August 1940. It's located just west of Merrick Boulevard, where the Q17 terminates. However, it carries more routes like the Q3, Q4, Q5, Q30, Q42, Q77, Q84, and Q85. It also shares buses from the horrific Casey Stango Depot, which is the depot that doesn't exist because their buses, quite frankly, they never run. It's worth noting that due to structural issues with Jamaica Depot and the fact that it can't hold articulated buses very well, the existing structure is planned to be demolished and replaced with a newer structure that should be complete by 2022. Additionally, with the construction, the other buses that run into Jamaica Depot, they may be sent to other depots like Casey Stengel, aka the Flushing Depot, aka the Hellstewart Depot, or maybe JFK Depot. It's really up to the bus route because routes like the Q3, they go to JFK, so it would obviously be worth putting the buses there temporarily. Additionally, the Q30 could probably go to a depot in Casey Stengel, or that could be the Q17, since they have one bus from Casey Stengel. The bus routes that go to Jamaica Depot, they're pretty mixed. Like, we have good routes like the Q17, the Q3, and the Q4, and the Q5. And then we have this absolutely garbage one called the Q30. It runs between Queensborough Community College and Jamaica, or Little Neck, because apparently Little Neck is a great place to run an NYCT bus. But the Q30 is pretty much garbage, and I don't know why it goes to Jamaica Depot. Like, why not Casey Stengel Depot? That's practically where it belongs. Although, to be fair, it would probably run like hourly buses, just like the Q31 Bayside bound. Not to mention, Jamaica Depot also does this thing called bus bunching. Bus bunching is where two buses leave their terminal at once, specifically from the depot. For example, the Q17 is a prime target of bus bunching. They take two buses out of the depot, shove it up Merrick Boulevard's ass, and then take it up Horace Harding. It is a pretty bad thing. For example, one, it creates uneven headways. Two, it creates a waste of busing. For example, there's one bus that's picking up all the passengers, stopping every 5 minutes, and it's practically just a work bus. That's why there's so many situations, particularly on the Q17, where in Casino Boulevard, you might have a bus that is picking up all the passengers, while another bus that runs the same route, which is the Q17 in this case, is just skipping all the stops and saying, yeah, no, screw you, and it's only going to stop when a passenger requests it to stop, or there's someone missing at that stop. It's completely useless, and it's a waste of busing. And bus bunching is especially bad when there's crowded corridors even during off-peak hours. Most of the bus bunching, in my opinion, is during off-peak hours, or at least through my witnessing. For example, they might take two buses at 2 p.m., shove it up Horace Harding at 2:20 or 2:30 p.m., which is really bad. Horace Harding Expressway and Utopia Parkway, it's crowded like pretty much all the damn time, so I don't know the logistics behind bus bunching, but I guess the MTA is just the MTA. When it comes to cleaning and maintenance, I'd say Jamaica Depot does fine, although not very consistent along bus routes. For example, the Q17, it does good maintenance. They get the buses running, and I haven't seen a breakdown in a long time, although occasionally the depot might run like 20 to 30-minute buses for some reason. Additionally, the Q30, it also does okay maintenance, although sometimes it breaks down. But you know what, it's fine because I know some routes have it worse and some depots, they're really bad. Cleaning wise, I'd say Jamaica Depot does a pretty good job, although I think it used to do like a ton worse. And that's kind of important because when you have to use an epidemic to improve, I think it kind of shows that, it's mostly reactive in your depot, not proactive. Although that's the case for most of the depots in MTA New York State Transit, so I'm not gonna give Jamaica Depot too much of a biggie because their cleaning has definitely improved ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, which I think applies system wide. Like every single depot out there, every single bus, they get deep cleaned like almost a million times per se. I think that's pretty important, and when you have a clean bus system, it kind of shows people that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be so fearsome of transit, because most people fear transit because of the fact that you might get the coronavirus, which is absolutely insane. Like, I'm sorry, that's actually pretty insane because the HVACs and the ACs on the Jamaica Depot buses, they're really good. Like, I have never seen one break down in the entirety of my life. Never seen one break down, never boarded a bus with a broken AC, none of that crap. Although, I do have to say, sometimes the Q17 buses, they do have jammed fare boxes. Maybe because there's like horrendous people in the Q17, or maybe the bus driver just doesn't want you to pay the fare, which is understandable. There was even one instance on the Q30 where a bunch of people, they didn't know about the fare collection resuming on August 31st, and the bus driver just let them through and jammed the fare boxes. If there's one thing that Jamaica Depot fails miserably at, it's the bus servicing at the opposite end. For example, on the Q17, it's Flushing Main Street Station. It's pretty bad. Like, you should expect to wait about 5-10 minutes for a bus, maybe wait like 2 or 3 minutes for everyone to get in, whatever. But some cases you have to wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, especially on the Q17. The Q17 is a pretty good route. Like, when you went to Jamaica, you can get one like 3 or 4 minutes, but sometimes you have no buses and then you're pretty much late to wherever you have to go. That's pretty fucked up because when you have to, say, get to work at Jamaica and you live in Flushing, I think that's more of reverse commuting because most likely you're going to go to Manhattan. You might as well just take the Q60 for that. It's kind of screwed up. Like, we're supposed to wait 2 to 5 minutes for a bus. I understand it's the terminus, but still, the bus driver should definitely do better at laying up because the Q17, it ends at 39th Avenue, although it has changed terminuses since then, and it lays up near this parking lot near 39th Avenue. Stays there for a bit. I don't know what the hell they do in there. Do they just mess around? I really don't know. But if there's one thing that Jamaica fails miserably at, it's the servicing at the opposite ends of the bus routes. If there's one thing Jamaica fails at, it's definitely bus timing and service headways. We've already talked about on the Q17. And the fact that it doesn't know how to send out its bus correctly. And the fact that its layup is just bad. But if there's one thing you have to remember that is basically so crucial into rating a depot, it's the fact that you have to realize that there's some things that Jamaica Depot does extraordinarily well at. For example, cleaning and maintenance of their buses. Never have I seen a single Jamaica Depot bus break down on any single route. Q3, Q5, Q4, Q17, Q88. Wait, no, Q88 is part of Queens Village. But yeah. No wonder why Q88 goes down so much. Seriously, Queens Village. Such bad maintenance. But back to Jamaica Depot. Being the oldest depot, I'm surprised at how well it does, really. I'm hoping the new structure really does Jamaica Depot well, especially because the old structure, which is the current one, it's 80 years old. I also hope during the time of mitigation that the other depots, they don't screw up the Jamaica Depot buses. I'm looking at you, Casey Stengel. Might want to look at yourself. Goddamn failure. AtlanticMoyNiHan gives the Jamaica Depot a 7.1 out of 10.
Alright, so pretty much 8 out of 10, one of the best depots. I'm just gonna say that because I don't want this video to get like 30 minutes long. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, we actually reached 685 subscribers recently. Love you guys. We're on the road to 700. Hopefully we get 700 by the end of this month. So yeah, thanks for watching. This is TransitSylveon signing off. Wishing you a great day.